Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Burn This Podcast. It's Brandy Posey, the host of Burn This Podcast and founder of Burn This Records. Thank you for tuning in. Can I just say thank you to you? It is very much appreciated. We have an album coming out on Friday. This one is from Tess Barker. It's called Live for My Birthday Week, and we recorded it during her birthday week in Reno, Nevada this year. Tess is one of my comedy sisters. I've known her since I started. We've been podcasting together on my other show, Lady to Lady, for over 12 years at this point. And you're going to love our conversation. Enjoy me sitting down with Tess Barker.
We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn.
This podcast. How do you transition between like your multiple hats? What is your move?
I have a 3-minute meditation from Deepak Chopra that I do almost daily.
Really?
That I love.
Oh, I like that.
It's really, really, really nice. And it's like 3 minutes. No matter what, I'm like 3 minutes I can do. And it resets me so well. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please. Would love to have that. Is it like a middle of the day, like between stuff?
Yeah.
Where you start your okay.
For toggling.
I like that. A toggle meditation.
It's a toggle meditation. And you can do it on your own. But there's something about the Deepak Chopra. I really like his voice. And
yeah.
You don't have to worry about timing yourself or anything. You just do the little 3-minute video. I do it almost every day.
I love that. I'm going to link it in the show notes for people for when they toggle away from this podcast later into whatever horrible thing they're doing after this, unless it's listening to another episode of one of our other podcasts.
Actually, I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but then if you want a refresher in between episodes, do Deepak.
Just a little bit of Chopra in between. I like that. Like it's good. Like you were like kind of like queen of self-care to me in a lot of ways.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. Of the people I know, I'm like you always have like a good trick.
It's funny because something I've tried to like write around to sometimes because it is like that is one thing that I've truly never felt that I struggled with. Like it has just never been an issue.
No. You've always come first, and it's the Aries coming out.
I guess, yeah. But I take care of other people a lot too.
Well, yeah. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not that you come first; it's that you understand you need to be rejuvenated in order to take care of others. But
exactly,
you can't be running from a depleted place, which is a healthy way to be.
Can't be running from a depleted place, and also like I place a lot of value on experience, like that to me, like. It's very easy for me to prioritize. Like I'm always going to go for the experience. And like I practice mindfulness and try to really slow down and take in things because I enjoy everything so much. Like I love music and I love food and I love wine and I just love like taking things in and just like having experiences.
Totally. Do you feel like you've always been that way? Or was there a point that you were like, no, I'm prioritizing this?
I kind of feel like I've always been that way.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Like like I remember like being in elementary school and I lived like kind of down the street from my school and I went to the nurse and I was like, I'm just going to walk home and take a nap. And I just felt like taking a nap in my room. And I did. So I did this in first grade. I didn't understand that I shouldn't have deployed it as much as I did. Right.
But the second half of my day in first grade was like not. I just was like, I know this already because I knew how to read and I knew how to do all this stuff like early. So it was just like, this is boring. So I would like go to school. I would do the first half of the day. I would do recess. I would do lunch. And then I'd be like, I have a stomach ache. And I would go to the nurse's office. But I like, didn't understand that you can't pull that every day that you're bored.
Same.
So I absolutely hit a point where the nurse was like, you don't have a stomach ache. I'm not calling your mom. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, got it. All right. There is something to learn here, and it's how to actually grift this correctly.
It's how to grift it correctly. That's right. But what they're trying to teach you is how to sit in a chair in a cubicle from 9 to 5 every day. Ugh. I mean, that is really what the school schedule is. And I think for people who were never destined for that kind of a life, I always felt that way in school as well. I never had an issue with the curiosity around learning. I've always loved learning and been very curious. I always grew very impatient when I felt my time was being wasted because I would be like, it's not that I don't want to learn this. I have learned it, or you're just, this is, you know what? I bet you hated this too.
Yeah.
Word searches.
Yeah. Can't stand them.
Can't
Why?
stand them.
Fucking why? Oh, the letters are backwards and diagonal.
Oh, what are we learning?
Learning to identify a word that I know how to spell. I know how to spell it because I can see it in the word search.
We've established that I know how to spell it.
Yeah.
Give me a spelling test. I'll take it. I always hated that. And I think that people that weren't going to ever have that kind of like really rigid schedule really didn't appreciate that kind of schooling.
No, 100%. A big, yes, exactly. Because I didn't come alive in English class until like it was my 8th grade teacher. I was always good at it. I liked reading, but I always had like 5 other books happening on the side.
Same, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which, it's funny, I remember reading something recently that was like, oh, that's the way a child just disassociates from their reality.
Well, yeah.
And you're like, well, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I wasn't present. I was a babysitter. I was a boxcar kid. I was a lot of things that was not a 7th grade girl, I guess. But like in my 8th grade teacher, the way that she did like these vocabulary tests, she made it competitive, and like she taught us a lot of like big words, and it was like she had this like on the board, it was like who like got the best scores every week, so the whole class was like super competitive with each other, like to learn all these words and put them in sentences and shit. And I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. Okay, because everyone in the class is gonna know how fucking smart I actually am.
Yeah, you make it interesting.
Yeah, it was,
you
like,
gotta have
fun.
some money on the table.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun, and like everything up to that point just felt very like catered towards the middle, kind of.
Right.
When you are like on the upper end or something, you're just like, all right, well, I'm done, and I've got like half an hour left, and it's like, oh, I can actually like really show you what I can do.
Right,
Cool.
exactly. Like it is so refreshing, I think, once you have that first experience. I mean, I have so much love and appreciation in my life for good teachers.
Of
but
course,
yeah, I mean, I had the teachers that are able to like recognize that you need kind of a lot of stimulation and that you're craving like a lot of input. Like it's so refreshing when you get that.
Yeah. Because I remember being excited to go to school.
Yeah.
And being stoked and being like, okay, great. But I remember I came home for the first day, and I don't think they didn't explain to me in kindergarten that was just like what I was going to do for the next 18 years of my life.
No, they sure don't.
They really don't.
They can't, right? They're like, I hope you enjoy your pigtails and your jumper. Like they couldn't possibly ruin that moment for you by explaining what's ahead.
But I remember coming home and being like, that was pleasant. Okay, we can do that again in a few weeks. And then they were like, no, you go back tomorrow. And then every day after that.
For the rest of your life.
And it was like, oh, okay. I guess I probably wouldn't understand this concept, but like it still felt like a tiny betrayal.
I think you're right. Absolutely. And then they keep like upping the amount of time you're expected to stay there, because you're like, okay, fine, I'll be there until like noon.
Yeah.
I can still be home for lunch. Mm-hmm. And then they take that away from you.
Yeah. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
And then God forbid you have any sort of after school activity, and then you're there till 5.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I never had. See, that was the thing, because I was a child actor, so I never really had, and I think that's also why I've really never been able to hold the traditional schedule, because I honestly didn't even really have one.
Yeah.
Like, I left school a lot to go on auditions and stuff like that, and I never was able to commit to really, like, after-school things, because I was always in L.A.
Yeah.
I always went to L.A. after school.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was always, like, doing my homework on the Universal lot.
That's amazing. I love that. God, it's so crazy. I like forget sometimes that you were like a child actor. Like I know it, but that I'm also like, oh yeah, like the reality of what that meant, like in the grind of it every day is like fucking wild.
It was all grind. I booked like nothing, and I was grinding so hard. Like I have nothing really to show for it. Like I just was grinding. But yeah, I mean, I went to class every Saturday.
Yeah.
So I wasn't in Burbank. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's still why I love Burbank. And like my brother, because my brother's only a year younger than me, so he would have to come.
Yeah.
And so while I was in acting class, they would go to Griffith Park, and my brother would always go to Travel Town.
Oh, that's fun.
I guess.
Yeah.
I never went to Travel Town. My brother would always come back with these train whistles that he got, and he would tell me about it. And it's really funny whenever I run by it now. I'm like, there's Travel Town.
Daniel's Travel Town. Great.
I find it very haunting. And I mean, I'm actually sort of very obsessed with Griffith Park, but I find quite a few places in it feeling very haunting, but definitely Travel Town. Like there's it's all these like spooky old decrepit trains, and there's something kind of like haunting about like they feel like time travel, and like there's something very spooky about trains that don't travel in Travel Town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, it feels like you're like, oh, I'm running through like a culture that existed, and I get to like just see it from the outside or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one of the facts about Griffith Park that I'm just obsessed with is that it started out as an ostrich farm.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And
oh, thank God it's not that anymore.
I know. Well, I mean, I actually love ostriches.
Oh, see, this is another... Tess and I, for the listener that might not know us, I'm also an animal lover, but we do differ on several animals. Do you really love a shark?
I do.
Would like it some distance. I hate an ostrich.
You hate an ostrich?
Yeah. Have you ever fed them?
I haven't.
See, whenever you feed them, you will see the evil that lives in them.
Okay, that's totally fair.
They become like, you see the dinosaur that they are.
See that I'm attracted to the dinosaur because that's shark-like.
Yeah. That's true. You like a black eye. You're like a real deep, dark, soulless black eye.
What can I say? Also, I mean, I just love anything because, I mean, actually, because I'm doing Young Storytellers again right now, and I was substituting for some kids, and they have a story about a capybara.
Okay.
Which is a giant hamster, obviously.
We love it.
I think ostriches and capybaras have similar appeal and allure, and I just love an oversized thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. An animal that is not the size that you expect it to be.
Yes.
Is amazing.
Yes.
Which I think is why we also like hippos in general. Like there's obviously the very famous Mudang right now, that pygmy hippo. But a real hippo, like not that a pygmy hippo is not a real hippo for the pygmy hippos listening, but a normal sized hippo. God, I'm just saying lots of problematic things about hippo sizes.
They do have a big social media presence too, so you better be careful.
The traditional hippo size is they can get up to 16 feet long, which is.
Do you follow Fiona?
Oh yeah, yeah. I follow Fiona. I also did you see the story about the Pablo Escobar's hippos in Colombia?
Remind me what it was because I vaguely remember it.
Okay, so he had a zoo. He had a cocaine zoo, and then he died because that's what happens to cocaine guys. And they rehomed all of the other animals except for his 4 hippos.
That's right.
Because hippos are just like
feral
and terrifying.
Very scary.
They're very, very scary. And the cops just didn't want to deal with it. So they just left them there, and there were 4 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's over 100 now. And they are like inbred cocaine hippos just running around Colombia, and they're not supposed to be there.
I hope they leave them be. Whenever I hear stories like this, I'm like, please don't kill the hippos.
They're trying to they have a plan in place to sterilize them. It's not going as fast as it should be.
Yeah, I guess I would imagine that's a difficult project.
Yeah.
To sterilize cocaine hippos.
Yeah, because it's like you got to trank them and take them down. I can't imagine how much that is. And then if there are more than one of them together. So they're figuring it out, but they are like going into the villages around his house because now there's 100 of them all over the place. They're deeply invasive to Colombia.
Wow.
They're not supposed to be in South America at all.
Where are hippos indigenous to? Is it Africa?
Yeah, Africa.
Because they are just, I mean, that's another animal right there where it's like, that's why I'm just so obsessed with the animals because they're just so fascinating and like beautiful and mystical. And it's wild how many different kinds there are and the crazy characteristics. Like an animal like a hippo, you're like, how do I share a planet with you?
Yeah. No, it's insane. Whenever I look at one, I'm just like, that's a crazy thing. I probably look crazy to it. If it even thinks about me, why would it?
Yeah,
Humans
I wonder if hippos do consider us.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they don't, frankly. We aren't meant to be thought of.
We're not. We're not.
Of all the animals on the planet to have ascended, what a bummer.
I know. We were all rooting for us too.
I know. And then you get here and you're like, oh, man.
Damn. I mean, because we came from monkeys and everyone loves monkeys.
Yeah. We love them damn monkey. They're great.
Although I do need to finish, but I have commenced.
Oh, you're watching it?
Chimp
Crazy?
Yeah. I'm watching it. I knew I was going to watch it. Like I said, I told you. I was a little worried about confronting my shadow self because I'd be lying if I said I didn't always want,
of course,
a chimpanzee son that wore overalls.
Yeah. And like, it sounds Here's the thing, and I think it's a great series because I think a lot of people have that thought.
Yes.
That they would love that.
Yes.
And then you see it play out. For those that maybe have not watched Him Crazy, how far are you into it?
Episode 4.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
So it's like once they get to 5 or 6 years old, that's when they like hit their monkey puberty, and then that's when they're like they aren't your little boy anymore.
They aren't your little boy, so they never should be your little boy. I mean,
no.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom
yeah.
line, period. Like, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone wants, I get it. You want a chimp. We get it.
Yeah. We get it.
It can't happen.
Yeah. This is why we domesticated dogs and cats.
That's right.
You know, and thank that. Well, you know what? They domesticated themselves. I
love them for that.
I know. I'm not going to take that from them. They
No,
did
no.
that, and I respect them for it. You know, sometimes, do you ever look at Garth, your Chihuahua son? We both have Chihuahua sons.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at him and go, you were a wolf
All the
once?"
time.
Yeah.
All the time I say that. I mean, because it's just so funny. Because,
Yeah.
like, even, you know, from his past, who knows what his past is? And now it's like, I can't take him to Starbucks without him looking. He literally will sniff around because he knows he's getting a puppuccino.
Yep. Exactly.
He has a Starbucks order now.
I do love dogs, though. They make me so happy. I think it's awesome that dogs got more legal in the last, 10 years, right? That's great. We did that. It was like the same time we did it with weed. It was just like, yeah, all you need to do is find a doctor who's like, you need that for your anxiety. And then you can smoke weed and you can have your dog in Chick-fil-A, whatever. But I have some friends who are so uptight about what's a service dog and what's not. They think they're the service dog police or something. I'll be out with them and they're like, look at that. Look at that. That's a service dog. That's a Pomeranian. It's in a purse. It's in a purse. They got that vest on eBay, I bet. That's not a real service dog. Dude, who gives a shit, right? Who fucking gives a shit? That's what you're mad about? That there's a bulldog in Panda Express? Who cares? Dude, we got real problems in this world. The polar ice caps are melting. We're engaged in an endless cycle of war. And Justin Timberlake is famous. There are real things to be mad about. Why can't you just be happy that there's a dog somewhere it doesn't belong? Everyone knows that's the cutest kind of dog. Oh my God, I like dogs, of course, where they belong. In their house, at the park, love it. But when you come across a surprise dog, it's a peak dog. That a dog gets more doggy the less it's in a dog place. That's the entire premise of the movie Air Bud, right? We all remember somebody did a mountain of cocaine, walked into a movie studio and was like, dogs shouldn't be playing basketball, and that's adorable. And he was right. He got $1 million because that is what we call a slam dunk.
I also have Garth trained and Sean. I have them both trained because I always listen.
Your husband and your dog.
Yeah.
Okay,
I always listen to musicals when I'm cooking dinner.
Oh.
And probably the musical I play most frequently is Company by Stephen Sondheim. And so when the overture starts, now Garth will leap off the couch and so will Sean.
Oh, they both know.
They both know. Yeah, I have them both. I mean, Sean gets literally hungry when he hears musicals now. I have it that closely correlated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very.
I did that on it was an accident, but that's where we're at.
You didn't seek out a Pavlovian husband, but,
No.
but here you are. That's funny. I'd be curious. Have you ever taken him to a musical? I'd be curious to
Oh
see.
yeah, we go to musicals all the time. He loves musicals.
Does he hit a point in the theater where he's like, I'm gonna need a snack?
Well, like The way it's structured, usually, like, I mean, we'll usually go to dinner before.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then you'll watch about like an hour and some change of show, and then there's intermission when I always like to get candy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can get a what have you, and then there's usually another hour.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So funny.
It's shorter than a football game.
Yeah. I love that you get him to musicals. That's great. I mean, I could see him being into that though.
Yeah, well, it's kind of really worked out because when we first started dating, that was when I lived in Hollywood, right by the Pantages, which I loved. I really loved living in that area. But the Book of Mormon was playing at the Pantages, and so one of our early dates, we like walked down there, and they had a lottery where you could win. It was like $25 front row center tickets, and
amazing.
like I think like at least 100 people entered the lottery, and we won.
Oh wow.
So his first time, he had seen a couple musicals before, like with his family, but our first time going to a musical we were like front and center for Book of Mormon at the Pantages, and like truly, I love that show. It's so funny and it's so much fun, and it was sort of like the perfect show because it's a great husband show. Like that got him into musicals because like that show was so good. It was such an entree into musicals that it's really been smooth sailing from there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I've never actually seen Book of Mormon. I was just like, have I? And then I was like, oh no, I'm thinking of Spam-A-Lot, which is different. But
Spam-A-Lot is funny
similar.
too. Yeah, but Book of Mormon, I think you would like actually. Like it's very funny. It's very irreverent. I mean, it's Trey Parker and Matt Stone. So
I've loved them forever. I remember my first South Park T-shirt in 7th grade.
What did it say?
It was just all of the characters at that time on the show. It didn't even say something. It was just the entire cast.
I remember that one. And it was like the block of the yeah.
Yeah, I just was like, I got a South Park shirt because it's hard to like explain for people that weren't there like what a big deal South Park was when it dropped.
It really was. It was one of those cultural moments. I mean, and I'm always kind of very fascinated by things, especially that happened before the internet, but where it's like, boom, all of a sudden everyone's watching this thing. And it was like South Park was so different than anything I had seen. And especially I think our generation, we are such a Simpsons generation. Like we love that show so much. And so I think we had grown up with the Simpsons.
Yeah.
And so when South Park came around, I was like, oh, there's another like really funny, edgy animated show. But this kind of animation is so crude and weird and like different than anything I'd seen.
Totally. And it felt like it was like, because it's like from the kids' perspective too. It was just like, oh, these are like my friends. Like this is cool. And like, but it felt like an adult show. It just, man, I remember being like, I'm like kind of a grown up. I watch South Park. No big deal.
Yeah, South Park felt like a moment for sure. And that was a shirt you could get at Hot Topic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was like a big a Hot Topic and a Spencer's. Those are like my two favorite stores of them all.
Those were good.
Yeah.
Those were, I mean, yeah.
I still like will just stick my head in a Hot Topic just to see what the kids are up to now.
It's the same, I guess, right?
Kind of. It's weird because now there's like, it's a lot of Funko Pops, which I'm anti Funko Pop.
Yeah.
Just as a concept, I'm pretty against them.
I kind of agree in general just because like plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, the plastic. Imagine getting Alzheimer's from Funko Pops.
I'd be so pissed.
I know, right?
Yeah, we can't be doing that.
No. Because it's like you can't play with it. They all kind of look the same.
It's just clutter. I mean, I get having one, like, I feel that they're very similar to bobbleheads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I don't know, every time we go to a baseball game and get a bobblehead, I have very mixed emotions about it. Like, on one hand, I'm like, it's usually a player that I like, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I like Freddie Freeman or whatever. But then it's always like, I have to haul this around for this entire game.
Yep.
Then what do I do with it?
Yeah. Well, now what? Where does this live now?
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't all be on eBay.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I'm not putting it on eBay.
No. Have you ever shipped anything on eBay?
I highly doubt it.
No, I can't imagine. I can't. As soon as the question left my mouth, I was like, "Who the fuck am I talking to?"
No.
Being an eBay seller, I had a which one was it? Oh, I had a Hulk Hogan velvet painting that I sold on eBay after all the shit about him came out. I had,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll get some money for this. That's fine. And then I sold. That's the only thing I think I've ever shipped from eBay. And it was a pain in the ass.
Got a lot of friends who were joining pyramid schemes. That's the thing about being a woman. You hit a certain age and every Caitlin you ever went to algebra with tries to sell you leggings. So many women get caught up in these multi-level marketing things. I got invited to one that was for sex toys. Sex toys. A pyramid scheme sex toy party. Just to be clear, I have no problem with sex toys. But I do feel like they're kind of like fast food. You should just buy those alone late at night and then consume them in shame, right? We don't need to bring mini quiches into the sex toy game. But then I started, like, I'm a nice person, so I started feeling bad. I was like, oh God, no one is gonna go to this sex toy party. My friend Kathy is just gonna be alone in her house with like a platter full of dildos. So I felt bad, so I show up for this sex toy party. I'm not the only one who felt this way. There's other women there. And everyone dressed cute. Everyone wore like a cute maxi dress and a big ass earring, and we were all just hanging out and drinking wine and having little appetizers, and nobody was addressing the elephant in the room, which is that we'd all congregated to buy anal beads. So we get past the appetizer portion, and it's time for like the hard sell when they try to jump you into this pyramid scheme, right? So the woman from the company is there, not my friend Kathy, the representative. She's there, and I was right about one thing. There is a platter full of dildos splayed out in front of her, and she's like, okay, you guys good? Everyone good? Everyone has wine? Okay, I just want to start out by saying that I have a child who is special needs. And for the last 7 years, I have paid for his education by selling erotic toys. Okay. So now I have to buy something, right? So she has so much stuff. She had like a candle that could go into your butthole. She had like a vibrator that was shaped like a dolphin. She had a lot of stuff. Then she gets to the end, to her big pièce de résistance. And that friendly smile just comes back across her face, and she's like, ladies, you know how sometimes your guy has had a really long day? What does that mean? And we all look at each other like we're taking it like existentially. We're like, what does that mean? A long day. I don't know, maybe he needs a different job? And she goes, no. And then she smiles and goes, sweaty balls, am I right? How dare you smile when you say the phrase, sweaty balls, am I right? Get out of here. Get out of here. But then she goes behind her little table. She pulls out this tube that's wrapped in like beautiful floral wrapping paper. And in gorgeous calligraphy on the label are written the words, vanilla ball powder. Then she takes out a Dixie cup and a water dropper. She takes the vanilla ball powder, puts it into the Dixie cup. Then she takes the water dropper and drops in like a ball sweat amount of water. Then she takes the vanilla ball powder Dixie cup and she passes it into the crowd. And she asks us all to sample it. Like we're at Trader Joe's. Like we're at Trader Joe's. And all of us women in these cute dresses and these cute earrings, everyone is being so polite. Everyone is just dipping their finger into the communal ball powder and being like, yeah, I see how this would go with balls, yeah. Why wouldn't it be like, dude, we're all here because we got peer pressured into it by Kathy. I just bought a vibrating dolphin for my pussy because I feel bad for your special needs kid. I'm not that good at saying no to stuff, okay? I'm probably gonna lick those balls whether they're powdered or not.
So you have a track on your album about multi-level marketing.
Yes.
And I know that you like to go down a hole on several of these things. Like you were a big Elizabeth Holmes, not fan, but like you admire the shim sham.
Yes, I
flim-flam of it all.
do. Yes, I do. Very, very much. Yes.
Is this so? Your track is about sex toy pyramid scheme.
Yes.
Is this the only one that you've been to in person?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. And it's certainly not the only MLM that I've had a friend try to get me involved in.
Yeah.
But truly, like I say in the joke, I think the reason I went to the party is because it did feel like my friend was really putting herself out there by sending this kind of an invite out. Like, it was much easier to ignore
Acai
organic
berry.
makeup or acai berry. Like, this was like, wow.
Yeah. Do you feel like she made the money that she needed to that night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Okay.
It was a very, in my mind, I think every single person there bought at least a couple of things.
Got it.
And I guess in that way, it's probably a very profitable MLM, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, the problem with all these MLMs, when you start reading about them and like learning about them, is like, yes, she got that initial, she was able to like pay the piper once.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with MLMs. In the same way that like you can't become a successful comedian doing bringer shows because you can get all your friends to like do your thing once.
Yeah, you'll alienate them very quickly if you keep asking.
There wasn't going to be a follow-up sex toy pyramid scheme party.
No.
Like, that was the population that was available. Yeah. Everyone bought dildos, and it was successful to that end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I always wonder what happens next. Like, at what point, do you have any idea how long she stayed in it? Or, like...
I don't know how long she stayed in it, because it was more of an acquaintance.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like... Again, every documentary I've watched, everything I've seen happen with it. There is one person who's on my radar who somehow is, they're still, well, my Facebook got hacked like, what is it, a year ago? I don't know. But I was following someone who seemed to be, going strong for like 5 years in theirs.
Wow.
Which is really interesting to me. But most people, I think, they do exhaust that immediate group within the span of a couple months. Then there's a period where they really have their back against the wall and they've like paid all this like money for this stock that they have that they then can't move, and then they give up, and then they just have, you know, a lot of acai berry.
Yep, that is the one I remember very specifically. It's the first time that I was ever pitched an MLM from an acquaintance, and it was like a girl that I was friends with in high school. We had like a falling out, and I hadn't spoken to her because she became born again, and I hadn't spoken to her in like easily a decade. And then I got a Facebook message out of nowhere because I was, at the time I was like, there was a period where I was like I did try to like train for the LA Marathon like once,
right,
like a decade ago, and I made it to 18 miles, and then I fucked up my knee really bad on that run, and I was like, this is not for me. I'm good. I couldn't walk for like the next week or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. But during that training session is when she like messaged me, and she's like, hey, I see you've been like running. I've been running marathons too, and I have this acai berry juice that really helps with recovery, and I'd love to send you some and maybe get you involved to like send it to like some of like your people like that you are training with or whatever. And I was like, we haven't spoken for a decade because you told me I was a bad person. So
yeah, that's kind of a wild thing to just think you're gonna smooth over on the way to some berries.
Yeah, and also like didn't even mention it, just was like out of the blue like, hey, see you're training for marathon. I was like, don't be watching me. I didn't think we were still friends on here, actually.
Yeah, but that's the thing, they are always watching.
I know.
That is one of those moments where you're like, oh, I am just putting myself out there.
Yeah. You kind of forget.
Yeah. And like, even from her perspective, like if I'm her, that's how desperate all these people get, right?
I know,
she had to move that shit. I totally see why she messaged you.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, well, maybe, whatever. Fuck my dignity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they get you to a fuck my dignity place. Full stop.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I would imagine too, it's like, she's like, well, I've run marathons and I know the power that goes with that. And like, so I can tell you how to do this thing.
Well, and someone who's training for a marathon.
Yeah.
If you sell weird supplement shit, that is definitely your target demographic.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. Like, sure, anything that makes this easier I'd be down for.
I mean, that's like most of the, the day before a race, usually they have like what's called the expo where you go get your number and shit. And all it is different companies with weird shit that they have like free. You just fill up a bag of like random free shit. I mean, it's very acai berry heavy.
I feel that tracks.
If I can just get a little serious for a second here. I do just want to say, if you guys have friends who are going through something, if they're in a messy place in their life, talk to them now. Because you never know when they're going to get their shit together and become insufferable forever. If it happened to me, it can happen to anyone. I used to be so fun. Oh my God, you guys. I used to overdraft my debit card binge drinking. Wake up at the crack of 5 p.m. and then treat myself to a bong load and a burrito because I deserved it. Now I spend my weekends, I binge listen to audiobooks, I exercise, I volunteer, just all the things that make people hate you. I used to be doing so good. I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. I know, you guys are all just like stunned, like, wow, you were doing awesome. Because honestly, I think we need to really finally admit, cigarettes, we were a little too hard on them. Oh my God, like we totally eradicated them. I get it, they're bad for you. Tap water is like 9% credit card. I can't smoke a butt. Everything's bad for you. When I was smoking a pack a day, I was doing all of the things that they say make for a good quality of life. I was spending time outdoors, contemplating shit. I would meet random strangers and have nice little pleasant conversations, Why is there a loneliness epidemic? Because we made everyone quit smoking, We're so obsessed with mindfulness and meditating and stuff like that. People will be like, oh, whatever you do, you gotta start meditating. Like, you just start small. You make yourself sit there for 5 minutes and focus on inhaling and exhaling. You make yourself do it. You know who doesn't have to make themselves sit there and focus on inhaling and exhaling? Smokers! Oh my God, it's all you ever think about when you're a smoker. When can I inhale and exhale next? Camel Lights were the OG Calm app, okay? I don't smoke anymore, though. I have a much grosser, more embarrassing habit. I run marathons. Thank you, I know. It took a lot of, I got booed at my own recording. This took a lot of bravery for me to admit. It's a disgusting habit. It's so alienating. I've run 7 marathons. I told my friend I ran my 7th marathon, and she just said, "Fuck you," and kept walking. No one wants to be around you when you're a marathon runner. There's such thing as a social smoker. There's no such thing as a social marathon fan. No one wants to sit here and watch you talk about your toenails falling out and your nipples chafing, right? It's a disgusting habit. People talk about your 7th marathon the way they talk about it if you had 7th kids. They're like, why? Knock it off. Why? I'm not celebrating this anymore. No one talked to me like this when I was a smoker. I walked around with a pack of cigarettes. I had something to offer people.
So I'm running a half marathon this weekend, actually. I'm kind of like getting back in training for a marathon. Yeah.
Where do you have your eye on like another full somewhere?
Definitely a full, but yeah, I'm not sure where I want to do it. One of the more recent ones I ran was the Huntington Beach one. Yeah. Which I just really love running by the ocean. It's my favorite thing. And that course is so much by the ocean that I'm considering running that one again. Because it's also relatively flat, which is nice. Yeah. I can imagine so not flat by the hills. Ocean. Yeah.
Because you've done what? You've done Vancouver, Rome, Philly, L.A., Long Beach, Huntington. Napa. That's it. Damn.
Yeah. Rome was the best one.
I mean, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
What's your best medal? Like, what's the one?
That's a tie between Philly. The medal was really cute because it had a functioning bell in it.
Oh, that's cute.
It's very cute. Really cute. And then Napa, the medal had a little wine charm.
Oh,
that you can like take off and put on your wine glass, which I still want to do because like that one I really enjoy because it's like, what am I actually gonna do with the medal? But it's kind of baller to be like, this is my marathon wine charm.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's pretty rad. Also, like bring your own wine charm to a party feels like a next.
I know, right?
That's a level up that I'm really into.
Yeah, I just need to get a case for it so I don't lose it.
Yeah. That would be, man. Let me pull out my case with my personal wine charm inside of it.
I just realized how insane that sounds, but if I can just like instill one thing, I love cases for things. Yes. And one thing that I got that was like, I think $20 or under that I just use so much and that I love is my travel jewelry organizer. Yeah. It changed my life because I feel like I love traveling with my different jewelry and shit, but it always got tangled. I worry so much about losing small things, and having a little wallet type thing to put your little small jewelry things is so nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a good call. Cause it's like, there's a lot of times in the road when I'm traveling that I'm just like, this is like a moment that I will mostly like be on stage in front of people and stuff. But then I'm like, I don't want to bring all this stuff.
No, exactly.
From home. So I guess I'll just wear a t-shirt and jeans and that'll be it or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I dressed down for like a situation that this is like the showtime.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, so often when you're traveling, that is kind of when at least when I wear some of my nicer stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that I like an organizer like that. That's a good idea for bringing things that you're like, because I get nervous about losing shit like that.
Oh, because you will. Yeah. And I mean, the one I have is so nice. Like there's a little thing for your rings. There's a little like leather square that has a bunch of little punch holes for your earrings. There's a thing to hang your necklaces. There's a bracelet pouch. And then it folds up like a wallet. So I can bring, it's just so nice. I can bring whatever I want. Yeah. If I wanted to I went in for a massage the other day. I can take my rings off, put it in my purse, not have to worry about where my rings are.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I like that. Oh man. All right. Well, hot Tess hacks coming in on Burn This Podcast.
I try. See, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. As she drinks a Kirkland bubbly water. A delightful bubbly water.
It is a delightful bubbly water. This has been because I am a recent Costco.
Yeah, you're new.
I'm new to the club, and the bubble water has been It's been huge.
It's like you get so much more Kirkland for so cheap.
Exactly. At the rate that I do like bubble water, it's been good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, same. I'll go through like easily 3 or 4 of those a day and then be like, well, it's fine. It's Kirkland.
Exactly. Yeah. That should be the motto. It's fine. It's Kirkland.
It's fine. It's Kirkland. I bought in bulk for a reason. It's good. When's the last time you were in Graceland?
The last time I was in Graceland, it must be the time they talk about on the album when I went with Marlena. Because I've only been twice.
Okay.
I went once with my friends Megan and Sarah, and once with Marlena.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. You have a great story about just the death of a marriage. That's beautiful.
Just a nice big joke about the death of a marriage.
It's a really fun joke because I feel like it's like it completely like could be heard so many different ways from so many different perspectives in the audience. Like I would love to like find an older couple maybe struggling through similar things and watch them listen to it and be like, no, what do you take away from this? Is there a lesson? Is there a thought? Is there something you want to do different? Or what do you think?
Probably a certain level of discomfort.
Oh, man. I love it. Last time I was at Graceland, there was like, it was on 9/11 several years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just was on tour in the area and I was like, well, let's see this. And there was a custom motorcycle and sidecar. Oh. But then it was also pulling behind it what looked like a cooler, but was actually a tiny white coffin.
Oh my God.
And it was all airbrushed 9/11 themed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was like the craziest, like red, white, and blue.
Whoa.
Like also had POW stuff. And I was like, there was no POWs at 9/11. It's a tragedy, but there's no POWs at 9/11.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Then they were also at Graceland.
They were at Graceland. that's what I was looking for the entire time.
Yeah, of course. Do you think you found them?
No.
Because it's not very big.
No. I was on the look. There was no identifying marks on anybody at Graceland. I was just looking at the people mostly this time because I was like, I need to know who this is.
But it must have been one of the people.
It must have been, or two of them because they get the sidecar. I couldn't tell the sidecar was being used. It was like that was like one of the craziest things. I have 20 pictures of that in the parking lot, and then very few pictures inside of Graceland because I'd been before. I was like, yeah, Graceland's cool. I'm just thinking about this motorcycle the whole time.
I mean, yeah, that is. I just do think it's a fascinating place in that way. I mean, I actually really love Memphis. It's one of it's one of my favorite
Memphis
cities. Awesome. There's just so much neat culture there, and it's so beautiful. But Graceland in particular is such a funky, funny place, kind of exactly for that reason. Like the people who go to Graceland, it's a hilarious mix of people. Like it's just Americana, raw, but like you have to be there on purpose. Like no one who actually lives in Memphis goes there. And it's also not in the main, like, fun, cool part of Memphis. Like, you had to go there on purpose.
Yeah, it's like an older neighborhood. The area's a little bit sketchy. And, like, then there's just Graceland, which is, like, a gorgeous house. But by, like, today's standards, it's just a house.
Just a house.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I love about it.
Yeah.
Like, I love Graceland so much. Like I would love to just like be alone in that house.
Yeah.
For like even 10 minutes. Like I love that house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got so much like aesthetic choices that I love. Like, I love 70s. I love pop color. I love all the look of it. They put out
the TV room.
Yeah, the TV room is amazing. They still put out his Christmas decorations every year too.
I've been the first time I went was at Christmas time, and I love Elvis Christmas music.
Yeah.
So that really helped me fall in love with the place too, because because they put the animals out on the front lawn and everything. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really awesome. That was like, I remember because I have a crying Elvis velvet painting, and I didn't get it at Graceland though because I went there specifically because I wanted one, but they didn't have any there.
Oh,
they had a few that were good, but they weren't like the thing I was really looking for. That was a big, when I moved to LA, that was like a big thing I really wanted, was like a good crying Elvis.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah. Big fan. There was one time where I had like 6 different velvet paintings in my house.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah. I pared them down a little bit over time because I just like hit a point where I'm like, all right, this is not part of what I'm doing anymore. Let's send Hulk Hogan out on
That's
eBay.
good. Yeah, make room for new. Yeah, but they are beautiful. I mean, have you ever been to I don't even know if it's still open anymore, but the Velvet Margarita in, oh my God, they had such a beautiful collection of velvet paintings there. Yeah, if it's still open, you should try to go.
Okay. I would like to see that.
The best velvet artwork I've ever seen. And the whole restaurant is just covered in them.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check that out. That sounds fun. I have thought about like trying to do them because I love the style of it. That like 70s style so
fun.
much.
Yes.
It's cool. Yeah, that's like one of the things that I'm like, eventually, whenever I have time, it would be fun to like try to tackle that a little bit because I think it's just like a neat, fun throwback.
That would be incredible if you could make that happen.
Yeah. Eventually,
I feel like we both have that Pisces thing of like, there's just multi-universes where it's like, yeah, and in this universe, I do that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely do that all the time where I'm just like, no, there's like a version of me. Like, yeah, when I watched, what's the Matthew McConaughey movie with all the multi-dimensions? The space one. The space and time, whatever it's called. Whatever. This is where I'll insert.
Event Horizon? No.
No. I'll insert the name of it right here. Interstellar. For those yelling at the podcast. But I remember watching that and being like, God, imagine how much crafting you could get done in multiple dimensions.
Oh, I think about that. I think about the crafting. Yeah, like the different art you could get good at and also just what you could consume. I mean, for me, that's something I struggle with quite a bit. Like because I do love consuming things. It's like, I would like to spend an entire lifetime just watching TV.
Yeah, I know. It's fun to think about, hey, there's an alternative world where I'm just watching TV right now.
Yeah.
That thought does bring me a little bit of peace.
Same here.
Like some version of me doesn't have to hustle and grind and do all the things.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm doing it for her, damn it. It would be amazing. Oh my gosh. Is there like another thing that like you you've been doing comedy obviously for a long time, but is there like another like art form or something that you were like, oh, I wish I had maybe not instead, but like an alternative version of yourself?
Yeah, I mean, probably acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the point where you were like, I'm out?
When I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I did it all through when I was a kid. I mean, like I got my first headshots, I think when I was like in preschool.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Maybe kindergarten. I was very, very young when I like first started. I mean, yeah, because there are like, I'm pretty sure I was in preschool the first time I got headshots. So yeah, I mean,
You were in it.
Always in it. Like, and I never had really, and I still, and honestly, I still do love acting.
Yeah.
And it's always like what I assumed I would always do. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, the thought, I always just assumed that I would just keep trying to act no matter what. Because I do love it and I did love it. Although also similarly, like from a very young age, writing came like very naturally to me. Yeah. And people would always tell me like, you're going to be a writer. And for a long time when I was younger, I actually kind of like pushed that away because I wanted to act so badly. I was like, don't think of me. I'm an actor, you know? Yeah. That is ultimately what I went more into. But yeah, then when I was a teenager, it was just like, it started to be really hard for me to like, I would go to class and like, I didn't like watching myself back on tape after and like being like analyzed. And it really at that age, I just really didn't care to like watch myself. I really became self-conscious and very aware of just the ridiculous beauty standards and all that. But I didn't really at all totally leave it when I was a teenager. It's just that's when I kind of like started to do more writing. And when I was a teenager, I started to take like screenwriting classes at UCLA. Like I took my first classes there when I was probably like 16. So I mean, I always knew I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. So like when I was 16, I was like, okay, I'll learn how to be a screenwriter then. Yeah. And that is kind of when I decided to make that shift. But even in like my early 20s, I acted, went to acting classes, did the whole Meisner technique thing, had a commercial agent, like still tried again, like when I was in my early 20s and then kind of eventually just shifted. It was really stand up actually. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. And I mean, and that is why like no matter what, I always have to do like at least some stand up because that is like it's like it was when I realized I could start doing stand up, I was like, okay, like what I really love about acting is the performance aspect of it. And what I hate about it is the business of it. And in stand-up, I really felt like I found something where I was like, okay, I can just enjoy this performance part that I love so much.
Totally. Yeah, and you have so much more agency, I think, too, because it's like
Yes.
you could get on stage at any point. It's not you like asking, like, please, can I have some pages? Oh, you won't even give me those? Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, God, being a professional actor is just one of the hardest. And everyone knows it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, in every single, what we do is very hard. Like every facet of the entertainment industry is very, very hard. But being a professional actor, the level of powerlessness in your life, I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. I can't imagine it. I think of it often, and I'm just like, this would drive anybody crazy.
Yeah.
And people I know that like didn't find like I went to school with with a bunch of actors who like, if they didn't find that other thing, they now have like pivoted and they've either like doubled down in a way that their lives like bum me the fuck out, or they've pivoted to something that feels slightly evil. Like I know one girl that like she's straight up just building a sex cult. Like it's not going well, but I'm watching it happen in real time.
Does she have members?
She's got a couple.
Well,
yeah. And I mean, it's very interesting watching it happen, because it's like you always see like the teal swans later in the process when they have 100,000 followers. But I'm like, oh, that video got 500 views. So we'll see.
that's wild.
Yeah, it's like very weird. And acting straight up broke her brain, because she like wasn't like, she was just on that path and wasn't like trying to have some sort of like agency really.
Well, no. And if it's not going well,
Yeah.
you don't have anything to kind of feed that part of you that needs to be creative and wants to do cool shit. Whereas like with comedy and writing, you can always, of course, just take your notebook and go fuck around. And like, that's the thing with acting. Although, I mean, I have now like lived in LA and been and in the entertainment industry long enough. I do have like a handful of friends who have actually like great careers as actors, and like a really kind of like way that I think people don't think of when they think of the entertainment industry, of like there is this kind of like class of actors that make a pretty good living. Yeah,
there's like the working class like rank and file.
Yeah.
That, it's like, because, if you get a couple good gigs, you can do really well. And that's why all the strikes that just happened were so incredibly important.
Yes, exactly.
To protect those, that stuff. It's like I've had a commercial agent forever, and even just like seeing how like rates have gone down just from the little things that I see here and there, where I'm like, ooh, yeah, that if we needed to grind the city to a halt.
Yeah.
To stop this from happening.
Exactly. Well, and just the AI stuff. I mean, so much of that work.
Yeah.
That is done by people who just like have, a pretty like middle, modest life, like is stuff that they're trying to use AI for. It is people that do stand-in work or do kind of like background work, or like there is this big like labor market of people that really need to be protected by.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's like
Union.
People don't think of like Hollywood as this like working class town necessarily all the time, because
but it so is.
Yeah, I'm like, most people are busting their asses here.
Oh my god,
in a crazy way. I mean, it's like I remember like watching. There's so many old like comedy documentaries where you'll see like a old headliner be like, I work 45 minutes a day when I'm on stage, and I'm like. Oh, honey.
It's like, no, you don't.
You really don't.
No, you fucking... I know. I heard someone say that on a podcast recently, and I was like, why are you perpetuating this myth? There's no... If that's true, I've never met anyone like you, and you must be independently wealthy in some way.
Yeah, you're in such rarefied air that somebody should have told you that is not the case.
Right, because even if you have someone else that's doing things like cutting your videos and posting your social media and answering your emails and scheduling your shit, even if you have that, then that probably means that you're working to a certain degree, that you have drafts due on something, you need to punch up jokes on something, that's the... I mean, we all have to like go to the gym and do all the other shit. It's like no way.
Yeah, no fucking way. Unless we're only getting the Matthew McConaughey movie insert title here, interstellar version of that person.
That's true.
Maybe that's what we're getting.
Maybe they have like slipped through the space-time continuum.
And if they have, I'd like to know. That's what I want to hear about on that podcast.
Same
episode.
here.
Get me back. Well, this is your first album.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
I'm so excited.
Recorded this in Reno.
Yes.
Where you thought you were conceived.
Where I thought I was conceived. I honestly, yeah, that was like a Mandela effect thing for my brain, I guess.
I love it. Like the ones that you have are so funny because you have that. We have dogs playing poker.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think because my dad did like work in Reno when he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
And I know that like him and my mom were kind of like all over NorCal.
Yeah.
For a while early in their marriage. So it's not totally
Yeah.
inconceivable.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Maybe
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. The alternate name of the album.
Yes.
It's called Live for My Birthday Week. What's your favorite birthday week you've had? Is there one?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a hard question.
Yeah, because you go big for birthdays.
So hard because I do go so big for my birthday.
You know what's funny? I remember your birthday, maybe it was 2022, but yours was the first like birthday that I saw a lot of people in person again at. It was like this little outdoor charcuterie party in your backyard.
Yeah.
And I was like, people. And it was like the first, and I was like, I'm glad it's Tess's birthday that is like the first back.
That was really nice. That was like, yeah, it was kind of still on the tail end of,
Yeah.
felt like people kind of were just getting vaccinated. And I was like, because our birthdays are both in March.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, if your birthday was in March, you had like 2 birthdays ruined by COVID.
Yeah.
And that year I was like, I can't, I usually like to go really big. And I was like, I can't go like really big, but like I need to have people over for my birthday.
Yeah. No, completely. Well, and it's like mine. So our birthdays are 10 days apart. And mine is on the 13th, which was like the day that lockdown started.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like yours was like one of the very first affected birthdays too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were in Puerto Rico, huh?
Yeah, I was flying back from Puerto Rico.
Oh,
And it was like the craziest day ever because I just had a really nice week with 2 of my friends in Puerto Rico. And I was flying back and was like, can I go in the airport?
That was so surreal.
Yeah.
That was so fucking surreal because right before that, we had all been in Idaho doing comedy.
Yeah.
And like, I have a very vivid memory of COVID slowly dawning during that air travel day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I remember sitting at the airport bar with Babs and we were looking at the TV and we were about to get on a plane and it was just like, everything's getting canceled. And it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And they boarded us. And then my first, like, I always have this moment that they gave out Biscoff cookies as the snack on that flight, which is my favorite airline snack. Yeah. And I dropped mine into like the corner, like right where my seatbelt was. And I normally would probably 5-second rule that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was like, no, don't do that.
You're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn.
But yeah, my favorite birthday week, I guess, I mean... Oh, God, it's so hard. Okay, I'll just randomly say for week, because I did run the Rome Marathon on my 32nd birthday.
Yeah.
And on that trip, I went with one of my best friends from forever, Jen and Sean, and my mom. And we rented this like incredible apartment in the middle of Rome that had like a rooftop that looked out over all the city. And
Wow.
Oh, it just gives me chills thinking about it. You could see like the Colosseum and everything. And so... Italy is like my favorite place in the world.
Yeah.
So we spent the week in Italy eating the most amazing food. And then that marathon was really fun. And then afterwards, just still being like kind of sore from the marathon, but like having taken a shower and just sitting on that rooftop and just eating like so much cheese. So that was a good one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That would be pretty hard to top, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, good on you for doing that.
Thank you.
All the alternate reality versions of you are jealous of that one.
See, sometimes your reality is the best one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're all striving for as much as possible. Well, the album was called Live for My Birthday Week. It's available now for pre-order. It'll be everywhere this Friday. You can buy it on Amazon, iTunes, and Bandcamp. And where can everybody find you online?
All my handles everywhere are Testify with 2 S's. So Testify Barker.
Amazing. And you can hear us both every week on Lady to Lady, every
Yes.
Wednesday for literally ever.
Yes.
And then you have another podcast.
I have another podcast as well called Pop Mystery Pod. Please listen to that one too. It's an investigative pop culture podcast. Actually, tomorrow, probably before this episode comes out, I'm releasing an episode about the origins of the Richard Gere gerbil story that I'm very excited about. So just to give you a taste.
Oh, excellent. I love that. Tessa's like deep dives in pop culture are really interesting, and they take you to places that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And like, I've always loved that you're just like looking at the seedy underbelly of Hollywood and like from a very interesting perspective that you're like, oh yeah, somebody needed to actually look at this for real.
I didn't expect it to be my niche, but I guess it makes sense. I don't know. Here we are.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, buy the album, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.